Hello, and welcome to Maria Romano's True Love Knots. Did you ever wonder how dating should be done? Or is there a guide to how we interact with other people? Join Maria to learn more about her plans when dating.
Monday, it's the 1st of February, right? Woohoo! Hi, everybody, IG land, Facebook. It's so great to be here tonight. Gosh, February 1, 2021. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought we would be in mask? Who would have thought the world was still going to be in the midst of the pandemic? The good news is we all know that there is a vaccine out there. There's going to be one for everybody. So make sure when the time comes that you get the vaccine. The more people that get the vaccine, the better off we're going to be. All right, who's out there tonight? Okay. I don't know who that is. It can't be live, but you can definitely listen to me. Anyway, so tonight I've got a couple of things going on that I want to talk about. And I get quite a few messages and DMs from people that ask me questions about their love life. First of all, make sure right now that you're in a comfortable place, right? That way you can listen to me, and you've got your adult beverage sippy cup. I finally got one from my dear friend Judy Ann. Yep, it's water. It's water. It's not vodka. I'm not a big drinker anyway. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Judy Ann, for giving me that. Whenever you're working around computers, you want to make sure you have an adult beverage sippy cup, right? But tonight, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. I want to talk about what is your roadmap? What is your game plan for finding love? And people get out there and they just flounder. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But first of all, what I want to do, I want to share with you a couple of emails that I got from some people that follow me and also and now are clients. So one of them just said, "Dear Maria, I have this guy in my life. Let's call him Joe. We met 3 years ago. However, we just don't seem to be moving past plans, whether we're going to live together, get married. My biological clock is ticking." Okay. "And every time I broach the subject, he keeps changing the topic. What do you suggest?" Sophia. Sophia, you need to sit him down in front of you, Joe, and ask him, listen, what is going on? What's stopping you from making a commitment? Actually, it shouldn't have gone on this long. You should have had this conversation sooner. What I mean by sooner is when you met and early on, you could have talked about what you or where you expect the relationship to go. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to plan when you're going to get married on a first, second, or third date. But by the time you get intimate, by the time you may be 6 months into the program, you need to know what the hell's going on, okay? And if somebody refuses to broach the subject, well, there could be a few things going on in their life. It could be that they might not monetarily be ready, mentally they're not ready, maybe they're pursuing their career. But you need to sit down and have a candid conversation, especially if that biological clock is ticking. And you know what, Sophia, when that biological clock runs out, there's something else that kicks in for us baby boomers, people my age. It's known as the mortality clock. And that's when people start dating, and they call this like apocalypse dating, because you think you're going to die and you got to find somebody. And this happens too as you get older. So that clock is always ticking somewhere. But I suggest you and him have a conversation, have a candid conversation. However, you also need to be prepared that there might not ever be a commitment. And if that is something that's a deal breaker for you, you need to let him know. And that's tough. So, and when you do, call me, because I'll be there to help you pick up the pieces. So thank you, Sophia, for your letter. So another letter I received was, "Dear Maria, I met this gal and we've been dating for a while. We seem to have a lot of fun together, but whenever I try to get intimate, she keeps pushing me away. I ask her what's wrong, and she says she's just not ready. How long should you wait before you get intimate? We've been together for 4 months. We see each other quite a bit. I know COVID's a new Compton, but gee, and that's from Josh. Well, Josh, that's a tough question. I don't know how old both of you are, and whatever's going on in this girl's life, you need to really sit down and have an intimate conversation about intimacy. What happens is sometimes we don't like to address that white elephant in the room. And you need to address that white elephant. Now, 4 months, yeah, I think 4 months, it's time, but that's me. That, might somebody else, it might not be, they might want to wait longer. Maybe she's waiting for more of a commitment from you. Are you just trying to test her out to see if she's good in the bedroom? Because if you really love her, whether she's good or not, you're going to want to wind up staying with her. So whatever it is, have that conversation. And that's an important conversation, but also be mindful of maybe she's got some certain morality issues, religious wise, things like that. So be mindful about that, but have fun. And that's what it's all about. So thank you. Thank you, Josh. So tonight, I have many people that come to me and say, well, I'm just going to get out there in the dating world. And I want to share a story with you, a personal story. When my husband passed away, that was 2012. And most of you know I was married for over 33 years. I got back in the dating world a couple of years later. And I figured, hey, I ran my own company, right? I had a big company. I had lots of people work for me. And I decided to launch myself online. I figured I knew it all. I didn't need anyone's help. Let me tell you something. I got my ass kicked, okay? Every mistake you can think of, I made. And how many first dates I went on that I came home and I had crocodile tears. And as a result of those couple of years of floundering, I now have 3 questions, okay, that before I go on a first date with anybody. And those 3 questions are, have you ever been arrested and convicted for murder? Oh, yes. Have you ever been abducted by aliens? Not once, but twice. And or have you owned an assault weapons rifle, AK-47? So here I thought, okay, I knew it all. And I finally realized that I needed a coach. And I turned to my dear friend, Rita. And Rita became my coach because she was a family marriage therapist. And she also has been in the dating world for a while. She now elected to leave the dating world. She doesn't have anybody in her life. That's her choice. But she started in the dating world when she got divorced, when you used to put ads in the newspapers. Oh my God, imagine meeting somebody that way. You don't even know what they look like. But she's been doing it for a good, I want to say 20 years. So I turned to her for advice and she guided me. And that's when I realized there were a lot of people like me that didn't know what the hell they were doing. Okay. Because we've been out of the dating world for a while. Or you've been in the dating world and you keep making the same mistake over and over again. Like how many times have you had your heart broken, right? How many times, guys, you've been out on a first date and you spent all this money and saying, what was I thinking? So I then from there realized I developed a game plan and a roadmap of how to find love again. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you tonight, because I believe in sharing, with people that listen to me, and especially when you're in the dating world, because I want you to be successful. What I'm going to share with you is important. So write this down. If you have any questions, you can email me. You need to really sit down and soul search and think about who you are. And you're probably going to laugh at me and say, what the hell do you mean by who you are? Well, probably for most of your life, like me, right? I ran a company. I was president of my own company, right? I was married. I was a Mrs., right? I'm a grandma. I'm a mom. But now I'm at a point in my life, and many of you are, where you don't have to wear those hats anymore. You might have a little bit more freedom. And you've had more privacy and more time to soul search, let's face it, over the last year. All of us have had, I call that come to Jesus talk that we have with ourselves. And you need to figure out who you are and what you want out of life. And that's really the first thing, is knowing who you are, knowing what you want. And when you answer those 2 questions, Because let's face it, what you wanted in 20s and 30s, so on and so forth, you don't want that type of individual anymore. Maybe you're looking for something else, some other type of individual. And then also what you need to do is you need to list your deal breakers. Okay. It's not just saying, I want somebody successful. I want somebody that doesn't live in an apartment, right? I want somebody that's financially stable. I want somebody in good health. Somebody that doesn't overindulge. I mean, we all have our much, but for me, my deal breaker was if you smoked, forget it. Forget it. That was something, or if you drank too much, that was a deal breaker for me. So, and that's important. Somebody that maybe has a little bit of an edge to them, okay, that you might be attracted to. Sometimes women do. You need to really sit down. Do you want that guy that has that edginess? The guy that is not always going to be so nice and has a temper. I spoke to somebody today that says, I really want an alpha male in my life. Well, honey, sometimes, and I hate to say this, if you alpha males are out there listening, alphas, sometimes you got to get a little soft, okay? Because sometimes an alpha male can be too controlling. So, men and women, you need to just take the time and write down your 3 or 4s you want in a relationship and things that are your deal breakers. That's the first thing. And then the second thing you need to do is make sure you truly love yourself, roots to boots. No matter what size you are, no matter what shape you are, it doesn't matter where you're at financially, economically, whatever it is. Because when you get in the dating world, sometimes, and I'm going to say sometimes, your ego is crushed. And I can't begin to tell you how my ego was bruised so many times. It happens. It happens. Okay. And even though, and I even had a guy text me the other day. He said, Maria, it was nice chatting with you. And I realize you're a great girl. He gave me the line that I would have given, but I just don't think you and I are really a match for each other. He must have been following me, but that's okay. The point is that's something that I would tell somebody, which was great. And he's right. We weren't a match for each other. But for some people, that might be a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker. It might crush your ego. Don't let it crush your ego. A no is great. A no is great because you know what? It's getting you on the path. It's getting you on that path to finding somebody that's really more suitable for you. And don't think for a moment that you're not going to find the one. You will find the one. There are 7 billion people on the planet. There's somebody for you. But again, you need a game plan and a roadmap. You need to first go back and just revisit what I just said about you need to find out who you really are, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what you'll tolerate, what your must-haves that you want in a relationship, and what are your deal breakers. And then you need to write this down. You need to write this down and put this someplace that you can see this every day. Okay. And be realistic. I mean, listen, we all want to have that guy, maybe that's 6'2", it's in rocking shape, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We're in 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever it is. So get a little bit more realistic. Say, I want somebody healthy, somebody that eats healthy, that has a healthy lifestyle, somebody that's active. Put those as a must-have. And you'd be surprised, but you need to actually see this every day and visualize it. And as part of your practice, if you meditate, if you pray, just pray or meditate and ask the universe, ask God to bring the perfect person for you. And you will be the perfect person for them. But these are the things you need to do beforehand, before you get out there in the dating world. And then make sure you love yourself, because you will get your rear end kicked and your ego's going to be bruised. You're going to meet somebody that you think is great and they're going to ghost you, or they're going to breadcrumb you, or they're just going to come in and out of your life every so often. I don't want breadcrumbs. I want the whole damn loaf. And you should want the whole damn loaf too. Because you know what? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have somebody that adores you, and you deserve to have the perfect person for you. So don't ever settle. And one other piece of advice that I'm going to give you is you might spend a lot of time, right? Guys, you might spend money on improving your golf game, right? Or you go out and you buy a fine cigar. Or maybe you gals, you're spending money on getting yourself, in good physical shape. You spend money maybe for fillers or whatever it is you do to make yourself look good. You find the right hairdresser. But when it comes to your love life, why do you leave that up to chance? Why? Because and we've been there, some of you have been there, that when you make the wrong choice and you go out on these bad dates and you're wasting time, you can't ever get back that most valuable commodity, time. So find yourself a dating coach. Listen, if it's me, that's great. I'm in Las Vegas and I work with people all over the world, and I have special matchmaking packages where we work one-on-one. We actually go and look at all the different dating apps and I get you set up. That's fine, that's me, but it doesn't matter. Find yourself a good dating coach, somebody that is another set of eyes, and be honest with them, okay? Because sometimes we have blinders on. We're in love, and when we think we're in love and those endorphins kick in, that dopamine, and you know what? We're under the influence. We're under the influence, and maybe there are red flags. And that's where a good coach is going to guide you. So you need a game plan and a roadmap to find love, and you need to do some soul searching. If you want, give me a call. Be more than happy to give you some great information. However, in the meantime, it's Love Month, right? It's February. So any of those of you that get my newsletter, oh my gosh, there are so many great tidbits of things for couples to do, for singles, if you're by yourself. And there is a great recipe. Oh, this recipe is fabulous. That's on my TLK True Love Knots newsletter. So if you're not signed up for it, you need to go to my website and get all of this information that I've given you for free. Why? Because I want you to succeed in the dating world. And I want my long journey to be your shortcut to happiness. So in the meantime, next week, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day. We're going to talk about if you're in a relationship, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, and if you're by yourself, how to handle Valentine's Day. So everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and spread love. Remember that, spread love. So good night, everybody. Have a great evening. It was great talking to you, and email me if you have any questions. Remember, I want to see you be happy and find the perfect person for you.